What you are about to hear is the first formal introduction that attorneys get to make to a jury. A lot of decisions can be made during opening, and the attorney who is more persuasive during an opening statement often wins the case.
Although we will allow Will Hayward and Amanda Cohen to tell you more about the case, you as jurors would already be aware of the fact that the state of New Jersey accuses Jordan Abrams of murdering Chris Pavano.
Will Hayward will open for the state of New Jersey.
And Amanda Cohen will follow, opening on behalf of Jordan Abrams' defense team.
May it please the court. Good morning, Your Honor, opposing counsel, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. My name is Will Hayward, and today, along with my co-counsel Asia Moore, we represent the people and the state of New Jersey. On the night of August 30th, 2013, Jordan Abrams shot and killed Chris Pavano. Tonight, we, the prosecution, ask you to remember three things. Jordan Abrams had no justification in shooting Chris Pavano. Jordan Abrams had no confusion that he was shooting Chris Pavano. And Jordan Abrams gave no warning that he was going to shoot Chris Pavano. No justification, no confusion, and no warning. Now, on the night in question, Chris and three of his friends decided to do a stupid thing. They broke into the defendant's home. Thinking the Abrams home was vacant, Chris and his friends broke through a sliding glass door, and upon entering were shocked to hear the voice of an elderly woman, Candace Abrams, the defendant's mother. Now, upstairs in his bedroom, Mr. Abrams heard the sound of breaking glass. He heard his mother cry out. Yet rather than call 911 for help, the defendant made the conscious decision to arm himself with a gun, a Glock 17, a lethal weapon. He then crept out of his room and down the stairs, where he blew a hole through Chris's lung, killing him almost instantly. Why was there no justification? Because Chris posed no threat to the family. Once inside, Chris realized that the Abrams home was not vacant, as it had been for much of the summer. Upon encountering Candace Abrams, Chris apologized and told her that he was leaving, a fact to which Lauren Lucas, Chris's friend, will testify today. He posed no imminent threat to the safety and well-being of the defendant and his family. Chris was unarmed, and he was not looking for a confrontation, but the defendant, Jordan Abrams, was. A former military sniper, Abrams was locked and loaded and ready for action. But there was no justification for Abrams to take the life of Chris Pavano. Now, why was there no confusion? Because the defendant knew who he was shooting. This was a profoundly personal act, ladies and gentlemen. Jordan Abrams hated Chris Pavano. The defendant was upset that Chris and other surfers used the public beach behind his house that he felt was his own private property. The defendant was involved in heated disputes with the Pavanos regarding the dunes near Abrams' house. And the final straw, the defendant, Jordan Abrams, was angry that Chris publicly revealed the truth about Abrams' war hero reputation, ruining what Abrams considered to be his biggest asset. So the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Abrams hated Chris Pavano. Now let me set the scene for you on that fateful night. The defendant stood on the stairs. The light of the moon shone through the picture window, illuminating the scene below, and allowing Jordan Abrams to clearly identify Chris Pavano with his big, bright, green hair. This was the opportunity for the defendant to deal with the team that he so hated. So he lined up the shot, and he killed Chris. Now, how was there no warning? As the defendant stood on the stairs, Chris in his sights. He didn't call out to Chris. He didn't even tell Chris that he had a gun. He just took the shot. Now, Detective Jerry Singer will testify today that when Abrams took that first and fatal shot, he was only 15 feet away. And then, and only afterwards, did Abrams fire the warning shot. There was no warning, verbal or otherwise. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a criminal case, which means you have to be very careful in weighing the evidence. The standard here is that you must find Jordan Abrams guilty if you believe the evidence proves his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. But have no doubt, the prosecution will meet its burden. Jordan Abrams had no justification for shooting Chris Pavano. He had no confusion about the team that he was shooting. And he gave no warning that he was going to take lethal action. Indeed, the prosecution will make clear that the killing of Chris Pavano was a coldly calculated murder of opportunity. We will have no trouble convicting Jordan Abrams on all counts. Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor, opposing counsel, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. My name is Amanda Cohen, and alongside my co-counsel, Alice Fernandez, we represent the defendant, Jordan Abrams, in this case. Ladies and gentlemen, what makes an investigation fair? First, the investigators must not have a personal stake in the outcome. Second, the investigators must be careful and thorough. And third, the investigators must consider alternative theories. In this case, ladies and gentlemen, the prosecution's investigators failed on all three accounts. So what are we left with? Doubt. You have heard the prosecution's theory, but unlike the prosecution, you do not have a personal stake in the outcome. You are careful and thorough, and you will consider alternative theories. So let us take you through the key events surrounding the night. Chris Pavano with 3 other teens made a habit of breaking and entering homes in Cranberry Shores. They did so in order to drink illegally and to party without adult supervision. On the night of August 30th, 2013, Chris and his friends broke into the Abrams home, where the teens surrounded and threatened the defendant's elderly mother, Candace Abrams. Chris Pavano was standing close to Miss Abrams, intimidating her with what appeared to be a deadly weapon. Both parties agree Miss Abrams was frightened and called out. Upstairs in bed, Jordan Abrams heard his mother's cry. Dashing to the balcony, Jordan Abrams saw his mother surrounded by 4 skulking individuals. Fearing for her life, Jordan Abrams shot Chris Pavano, one of the intruders. Ladies and gentlemen, in the state of New Jersey, the law exonerates a defendant who uses deadly force against an intruder who is unlawfully in the dwelling, and when the defendant reasonably believes that deadly force is immediately necessary for the protection of himself or others in the dwelling. So, ladies and gentlemen, was Chris Pavano in Jordan Abrams' home legally? Yes. Did Jordan Abrams have reason to believe deadly force was immediately necessary for the purpose of protecting his mother? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a case of self-defense. If this had happened in any other town, in any other place, or with any other person, the prosecutor's office would look at the facts impartially and would never bring charges. So then why are we here, ladies and gentlemen? This is an unfair investigation that led to an unfair criminal indictment. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, you will hear from the prosecution's witnesses, Detectives Peeler and Singer. They will offer testimony about the crime scene. The problem, ladies and gentlemen, is that they performed an unfair investigation. Both detectives had a personal stake in the outcome. Detectives Peeler and Singer served under Mayor Pavano, Chris Pavano's mother. And both detectives knew Jordan Abrams, not on good terms. In fact, Detective Singer told Jordan Abrams he should go back to where he belongs at a public meeting. The detectives were not careful and thorough, ladies and gentlemen. Detectives Peeler and Singer cannot agree on the times they arrived at the crime scene. And Detective Singer did not wear gloves when collecting all of the evidence. And the detectives did not consider alternative theories, ladies and gentlemen, because they were all too personally involved with those in the case. Tonight, the prosecution will attempt to tell their story, but all we are left with is questions. Inconsistent times, flawed methods, biased investigators. Any one of these provides reasonable doubt on their own. Now, ladies and gentlemen, do not mistake us. We are deeply sorry that Chris Pavano died. He was young, and the death of a young person is always a tragedy. However, he was a young man who broke into another man's home and threatened an elderly woman. You cannot hold my client responsible for a natural instinct undertaken in the dark in a moment to protect his family. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the standard for the prosecution is that they must prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. If you believe what Jordan Abrams did in protection of his mother may have been reasonable, he is not guilty. And if you see flaws in the prosecution's investigation, their poor and biased work, you must acquit my client. Ladies and gentlemen, we are confident that you will acquit Jordan Abrams on all 5 charges. Thank you.
also value feedback, so if you have anything to share with us about the clarity of our presentation, please do so. You are all our best and most honest critics. Thank you.